everybody, this is Christina from Bristle Studio. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. I'm going to show you how to use the 12-ounce wine tumbler multi-mock-up today. So to start off, you're going to want to open this in Photoshop or in Photopea. And a little bit later in the tutorial, I'm going to show you all how to use it in Photopea. It'll be very similar to Photoshop, so make sure that you watch this portion as well, even if you are going to end up using Photopea. So let's dive in. Now, you're going to have 3 different mock-ups to work with this multi-mock-up. If you open up the mock-up 1, you're going to see these 3 red tabbed layers. These are going to be your smart object layers, and it's going to be the same thing in these other mock-up layer groups. They're all going to be red tabbed. So we are going to go ahead and open up the smart object by double clicking on this smart object thumbnail right here. As you see, it opened up a new document. So we're going to go to File, Open, and navigate to the file that we want to use. Now, I don't have any wine designs, so I'm using a mug design to get us through this one. So if you copy and paste the design in here, and I know I probably moved a little fast. For anyone that's like brand baby new to this stuff, you can do Control A to select all, or you can grab this marquee tool up here and drag and drop it across the document until you see the marching ants, and that lets you know that you've got the full document selected. And then you'll do Control C or go up to Edit and then Copy, and that'll copy that layer for you. And then once you bring it over here, you can do Control V or go Edit, Paste, and then it'll put it in here. Now, like I said, this is sized for a mug, the design I put in. So I'm going to have to resize this a little bit. And if your design doesn't fit this document, you'll want to do the same thing as well. So you'll hit Control T or go up to Edit and Free Transform. And you'll see you've got these little anchor points all around. So I'm going to pull it to the sides and then move it up. I don't care about that top bit being off of it for mine. But if you do want, let's say yours is size like this document is, and you want the full design on here, if you look up here, you'll see that this link is on, and that's linking your width and your horizontal sides. So you can uncheck that, or you can hold down Shift and then grab the anchor point right here and drag it down. It will cooperate with me. There we go. So as you see, it kind of scrunched it just a little bit. Now, if you're happy with that, that's totally cool. But I wasn't gonna do that. But might as well show y'all some new stuff while I'm in here. Now, once you're happy with it, you're gonna hit Control S or go up to File and Save. And it's gonna update the mock-up. Now, I have all of these set as a one-click change. So as you see, it updated all 3 wine tumblers, and it also updated the other mock-ups as well. So as you see, your design is everywhere. Once you have that done, you can go to like your glossy overcoat, your highlights, your shading. I have these set up so you can actually play with them a little bit. I don't recommend playing with the blending mode that's right here. I'd leave it at what I have it set at, but you can always come over to the opacity and the fill to play with it. Like, we can make the shadowing more intense on these by taking it up to like 50%. You can get the glossy overcoat and make this more intense by taking it up to like 100%. Something else that I've got on here is the extra highlights and shadows layer group right here. If you turn that on, you'll see that it's going to make those shadows and highlights pop just a little bit more. Now, I've also got the bottom shadows right here, you can play with these as well, making them more intense or taking them down even less. You can also move the shadow, take it down, take it up, whatever you want to do to make it more your own. I also supply you with 8 different backgrounds for this first mock-up. Got quite a little selection here. I also have, on the white shimmer, I have a color changing feature applied to it. So if you double click this palette right here, it's going to open up this panel for the hue saturation. Make sure that you've got the colorize button checked, and then you can mess with like the lightness and the darkness. You can mess with the saturation. You can change the color of it. Whatever you want to do to really make it match your design to make it pop. Now, let's see. The second mock-up is really all the same things. You just have different background options, and I've got the color changing set up on all 4 of these. So let's say we want to make this just like a more of a purple color. But I don't like the white shimmer. So let's check it on a marble. So now we've got that color in marble, or we can change it and make it be a purple wood or purple paper, whatever texture you're feeling. But I wanted to give y'all as much flexibility as possible to really make these designs your own. Let's see. And then the same thing really goes with this one. It still has the same color feature on there, and it'll apply to all 4 of the backgrounds as well. So now that we've got that done, I'm going to show y'all how to use the action that's on here. So I'm going to go back over here and get rid of that design and save it, so that way we're back to square one. Now, if you go to your actions folder and double click on the action, it's going to automatically install it into Photoshop for you. So now you're going to look for this little play button over in your panels bar. If you don't see it there, go to Window and Actions, or you can press Alt F9 and it'll open it. And it should load at the very bottom of your Actions panel. You're going to have 2 action groups within this. It's going to have a load and a save. So I wanted to give them separately, so that way you've got time to make changes to things. And I'll go over that in just a second. So for load, you're going to click on load and press the play button. If you get this error message, don't worry about it. Just hit OK, and it'll pop up with an open window to navigate to the file that you want to use. So we're going to go ahead and double click on that. And as you see, it's automatically added it to the Smart Object document for us. And it's got it set on free transform automatically. So we're going to go ahead and resize this by dragging those anchor points. And remember, it's on linked for dimensions. So we're going to hold down Shift and drag that down. And then we're going to hit the check mark right here. As you see, it went ahead and saved it and closed on its own, and it's automatically applied to each mock-up as well. So as I said, I wanted to give you some time to mess with things in between the load and the save. So now's the time, if you see the design on here and you want to make a change, like you want to change the background to match the design, or you want to mess with the highlights and the shadows to really make the design pop more, or to make the mugs look more realistic with the design. Because depending on the design, sometimes the highlights and shadows won't pop as much. So you might want to tweak those. So once you're happy with how it looks, then you'll go back to your actions panel and click on save and click that play button again. And I've got it set up to save as mockup 1, mockup 2, mockup 3. And you just save, okay, save, okay, save, okay. So as you see, the actions make it super fast. And like I typically have my backgrounds and my lighting and my shadows all set beforehand anyway. I'm usually happy with how it looks. So it takes me like 2 seconds to run through and make mock-ups with the action. So they should make your life super easy with trying to make mock-ups for your designs. If you guys have any questions about the mock-up, Photoshop, actions, the smart objects, anything, please feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to help you troubleshoot or walk through whatever. But I'm going to take a second and then I'm going to get back to you with Photopea and how to do that process. So I will see y'all soon. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how to use the mockup in Photopea. Photopea is very similar to Photoshop, but it is a web-based software. It's kind of similar to like how Canva is. You do it through a web browser. So you can use it on PC or you can use it on any smart device, like an iPad, a phone, whatever. All you need is a web browser. Go to photopea.com. You don't need an account to use it. It's 100% free. So once you're here, you're going to go to Open from Computer and double click on your file. And like I said before, it's very similar to Photoshop. So everything is exactly the same. You can still change the backgrounds with the opacity up here. You've still got like the color changing features by double clicking on it. All of that stuff is the same. The only place that's going to be a little bit different is with your smart objects. So if you double click on the smart object, it's going to open up the document and you're going to do File, Open and Place, and open up the file that you want. But as you see, it automatically copies and pastes it into this document and has it set at free transform. So now you don't have to do those steps yourself. Now, just like how it was in Photoshop, you can hold Shift down to move it and it'll take away the link dimensions, or you can come up here to that link box and click it. You see how it loses its highlight, and then you'll hit this little checkbox here and you'll go to File, Save Smart Object, or hit Control S, and that'll update the smart object for you. See, there it is. Now, like I said, everything else with this is the same as in Photoshop. The only downside to Photopea is I can't get the Photoshop actions to work in Photopea. So that sucks. But keep checking your files, follow the link and go back here and check every now and then, because you might just find a Photopea action in your actions folder at some point. I'm wondering if I need to actually make the actions within Photopea for them to work. So if I get them to work, I'll add them to the actions folder for you guys. But for now, this is what it is. But it's a great program, and I love how similar it is to Photoshop and that it's free. Who doesn't love free? But I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial and the mock-up. If you guys have any questions about Photoshop or Photopea, the smart objects, actions, anything, please feel free to drop a comment below or send me a message in my Etsy shop. I'm always happy to help. But I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to y'all later.